Hey guys, so in this coaching video, I coach a bronze chamber who recently promoted to silver 1. And we talk about how his positioning and just playing a little more aggressive, playing deathmatch, stuff like that, can really improve his gameplay and take him to gold eventually. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys are interested in coaching yourself, DM me on Discord. Find that in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Enjoy. Peace. Chamber is a very good pick right now, one of the strongest picks in the game. I would suggest sticking to similar playstyles, so Yoru kind of fits that. Omen is a little different because he's a completely different role. So I would suggest maybe trying Yoru and pick someone else. I think Reyna and Jet are really they overlap really well with Chamber.
Okay.
So those are some you could consider. So this trip in mid, you actually do pretty good. This trip in mid, you could put it a little bit deeper. It's like right behind the door, because the problem is enemies can technically come all the way up to here before this sees them, so it doesn't help your team out that's playing A too much.
Yeah.
It's pretty minor, but I always try to point these things out because his trip. Actually, I believe his trip's getting nerfed soon, so you're only gonna have one trip now instead of two.
Yeah, I saw that today.
That works.
But that's fine. Have to be a little. This second trip is completely good though. It's most good chamber or most high rank chambers put it up a little bit farther, so there's a little corner up here. Again, you could place either one of these right after the barrier drops, so you just pick whichever one you want to do. Do you know what you could have done better there?
Definitely not over peaked and expose myself.
Yeah, so you're quite out in the open, here. So like you're hitting pretty good shots. You're exposing yourself to way too much.
Yeah.
And another thing you could be doing here is taking advantage of your TP, right? So your TPs are up over here doing not very much for you right now. So maybe just like planning ahead here and having a TP down here instead of having this one over here, because I don't think you use them at all here. Then after you take a few shots, you can TP away, because what you're doing here is good. It's just you don't have your TP to get you out. So here we realize they're coming B. What I want you to do here is grab this grab this TP that's farther away from you, right? Because you want to have this. I think the recharge time. I don't know how long it takes for the TP to recharge, but you want to have it for later in the round if you need it.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not gonna grab it, and then again you're not gonna have your TP, and that's Chamber's strongest ability, other than his op. So one thing here, it's again kind of minor. You are stomping a little bit, and this noise that this makes, it's very distinct. So enemies that have heard this sound before will know exactly where you are. So just try to kind of walk if you're peeking. Walk across. Try to stay in your TP range, which you do pretty good of. Like right here, you step. And then he knows exactly where to look.
Yeah.
This is where, so also you can, it's completely fine to sit here and just hold this angle right here. Just watch this. And then occasionally peek out. You don't ever have to come all the way over here, but what you did was pretty good. Again, your aim seems pretty decent. So here, as soon as I see this Yoru right here, this tells, like the way that this Yoru is oriented, it tells me that they want to go A. So I might still chill here just for a second. But after I don't know if you're looking at the minimap, that might be part of the problem. So now you see 2.
Really.
Yeah, so now you see 2, and you see 4. You see 4 down here, and there's one that shows up here. So to me, I would instantly be going toward A. But also, you see, you kind of hold this, but then you kind of come back, and then you kind of come back again, and now you're looking at the wall.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, like you could just be holding this angle the whole time, even if you didn't see them on the minimap. But ideally here, you would have glanced at your minimap. So whenever you hear like gunshots, or like if they go back, you'll hear your Viper say, she says multiple enemies mid. So if she says that, that means her character actually saw them. That means you can look at the minimap.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's like some audio cues that you can use to actually be glancing around. Yeah, so you're kind of waiting for your neon. This is actually good. You just want to, they're going to be opping this, so it's going to be
I hear one.
dangerous. Another thing, I'm just going to say it again, is your TP, you didn't pick it up, and you could definitely use that here, right? Like say you pick it up, you get the TP back, you throw it out here, you kill one, you TP back, and you could run out again from a different angle. But you have to do that quickly.
Yeah. I do that
a
lot.
Yeah, time's ticking whenever the spike's planted.
One enemy remaining.
I think even when I made this video, I noticed it's like I haven't been taking my TPs with me.
Yeah, people notice a lot whenever they actually go to make video, like quad review video.
That's fine. That's fine.
Last player standing.
Good try.
Nice try. Nice try.
I think I even told him like you should wait for me
That's fine. That's fine.
because he just started defusing.
This is actually good. Like him sticking, that's actually good.
Oh, it is.
Player
Yeah, it's just because the Reyna dismissed here. Like you can imagine, if this isn't a Reyna and she doesn't have dismiss,
That's
then
fine. That's fine.
last player.
right here this is a free kill because
Yeah.
she has no clue where you're at. Before you start shooting, she has no clue where you are. So what the Neon did was good. I'm trying to think what else you could have done here. Maybe you could have ran out to the right here a little bit. You realize she could have had a kid behind there. But I mean, yeah, it's just kind of unlucky. You're also kind of low already, so I was gonna say just put the trip down halls and then like tell your team you're gonna go play somewhere else, and maybe keep a TP there or something, so you can go back there if you need.
Yeah.
But because that's something you can do is just chamber, right? Like you have the TP.
If I put that TP down, then I probably went back up the halls.
Yeah, you're going back, I think, for sure. The main thing here is it is kind of like a little bit autopilot-y, which means you're kind of just doing the same thing without thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
You have got a few kills in mid. It's just you could probably be a little more effective in different areas as well. In higher ranks, really, it's only like 1 or 2 people on the team that play the same area the whole round or the whole game.
Yeah.
It is usually Sentinels, but it's not usually Chamber because Chamber has the TP. I do feel like we play pretty far back. Like I don't know if it's just because it's this map or. But now we have an op, so like I'm really. So they just went A and they got destroyed. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should op mid. Maybe I should op B. I'm glad to see that you popped it, which is really good. I'm definitely using my TPs differently this round. I think your biggest problem is playing too passive. And I don't think it's because you're scared. I think it's because you don't realize what you can get away with. And like what you can actually, how much impact you can actually have from playing aggressive. So if we just watch this round, like for me and for how I know other high ranked chambers play, my duo's a chamber player. He'll play super aggressive with his ult every time, pretty much. Not every time, but like you have the TP. So if we just watch kind of how you play here, this is from the start of the round. We're pretty content just watching this angle and just chilling here for, you know, like 30 seconds. So this is fine, but I would be playing more aggressive. And again, that ties into your TP. I know I've said that a lot, but that's how you get away with the aggressive plays. We're playing pretty passive here. Like this is so one thing you realize whenever you get into higher ranks is this angle. It might seem like you can see them come outside, but this, you really have like a very small grip on site. Like they're gonna get out and plant the spike, and then you gotta push into them. So if you really want to defend A, try to move up a little farther here. Here, I think the minimap is gonna be important for you to start glancing at, because here this is gonna completely change how you're seeing the site or perceiving this. Because this guy's walking up to you here. Again, you hear that? You hear her say enemy A.
Yeah.
So at that point, if you glance up at the map, you see a red question mark right here, which means there's an enemy very close to you.
Okay.
So here, I'm guessing you didn't catch that because you don't look at the minimap very much. You might have actually.
I think I played.
Nice, good job. Might have been a little bit of an easier kill if you noticed, but still another minor thing. Because if you aren't really sure what you want to do yet, it's good to keep the second TP, I suppose, because then you can put it like anywhere around your first TP. Like from here, you can put a TP over toward A, you can put one over toward B. Yeah, I think we are missing out by just playing this area.
Yeah, I can avoid halls. User.
It's not even avoiding halls, it's just not playing there every round, right? Like if you want to go halls like every third round or something, not every third round exactly, but just occasionally, it's good. But people don't really push halls like all the time. And whenever I go halls, I personally push all the way down halls because I know people don't really peek there very often. As we've seen this game, I think you got peeked there like once or twice.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of limiting yourself is what I'm telling you in this case. Like if you're playing A the whole game and they come to you like every other round, then that's pretty fine, honestly. But here, yeah. Again, I think this is pretty passive for you because you have the TP right here to use. Our crosshair placement is good here. And then it kind of slips, and now we're looking at the wall. So if someone actually jumps up here, you're gonna have to hit a bit more of an adjustment. I'm definitely not gonna just hold this. I'm definitely gonna come out.
Want to play? Let's play.
Like here, I'm probably gonna go all the way to the right here. Probably a cool little trick you could do is put your TP behind this bar or something, so that they can't shoot it, and you can still TP out from the far right side.
Good idea.
Yeah, because holding from the far right side is kind of unexpected in my opinion. So now I'm considering going to help B for my team. Sounds like they might push B. Our team's just better though, so
One enemy remaining.
good. I know I've been telling you to not play halls, but it's especially important when you pop your op to play different areas. Because if you keep opping the same place, whenever the enemy team hears your ult noise, like, you know, whatever he says or whatever, they're gonna just expect you to be where you were opping before. So if you've been opping top nest the whole time, like the whole game, they're just gonna expect you to be there. So after you op nest, you might go A main to op with your TP, then you might go B. You might, you know, like peek aggressive elbow with the TP, something like that.
Okay.
And again, these are all completely valid places to go for. If you feel like you're leaving an area open, then tell your team like, yo, swap me, I'm gonna op. Because whenever you op, you have the right to do that. Like the op is, again, your op is the strongest weapon in the game. You should absolutely go for those plays whenever you have the op. You were in bronze, now you're in silver. There's not a whole lot of difference. Silvers are a little better, their aim's a little better. But treat these players like they are not very good, and you'll find that playing aggressive becomes much easier because you realize that, you know, there's really not much reason to be playing that passive all the time, unless you're just defending the spike or something like that. Just telling yourself like yeah, I should respect my enemies, but not so much that I'm just playing really passive every round. I think that'll really help you, because that's a tip I've given people, and it's helped them in the past.
I like
Specifically for like bronze, silver. And that goes all the way up to like immortal. It's just different levels of play. Sometimes people just respect their enemies a little too much. Practice some deathmatch with the op too. People won't like you very much, but
Spike down mid.
yeah, just getting that comfort taking the fights really, and then the aggression
One
just
enemy
follows.
remaining.
Because if I just tell you to be aggressive, then, you know, like I could tell you that, but I think it's better to
Last round in the half.
kind of tell you deathmatch will help for sure. One more thing I was gonna say here is Sky dinked, Sky damaged, like Sky lit. I think you hit her in the chest and in the head, so she's like probably one shot. So you could say Sky low.
Okay.
Because what that does is just gives your team like confidence basically.
One
Yeah.
enemy remaining.
I might have said that. I'm not too sure. I think I might have said like I hit Sky.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, just keep saying stuff like that. Let's actually look at something here. So they actually have the least kills on your team, but again, this, in my opinion, is because you just aren't taking that many fights. You can look at your deaths. You actually have the least deaths in the game, which is definitely not necessarily what we want to see on a chamber. I mean, it's not that chamber players should have a lot of deaths, but I'm just saying you should be in more fights. You should have the potential to have more kills here. And I don't think this is a direct indication that you're being out skilled or outclassed by these players. I think it's just lack of taking as many fights as you could or should be.
Shotgun.
They seem kind of hesitant. Our team's not really on the same page here. This is where you might say like, yo, let's go here, let's push this place, or yo, let's fall back.
Wait a second.
Here I'm taking that fight. This round especially, have all the confidence in the world, because even if you whiff, you still have a much higher chance of killing the enemy team, because yeah, they both have classics. More than likely, in this rank, that's all that they will mostly have. Sometimes they might buy like a sheriff, but usually you won't see that for a little while until you get a little higher up in ranks. But here, this should just be a free mowdown for both of them. It's just, yeah. Again, I think you do respect them a little much, because like you kill the first one, then you kind of like sit back, you're like, alright, let me wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas I would just be literally full W key Rambo. This isn't something I usually think about, but I actually guess like standing next to the spike player is probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
just because like that's where the enemy's attention is drawn
3
to.
seconds left.
I think for you looking back at this, it probably makes a lot of sense. But
And of course, he comes out of the one side I wasn't looking to.
where I would go here, again, we're not using our second TP, so you could definitely have that too. I always like to come over to this side, or all the way to back side, but in this case, you can come close to this wall here, and just kind of sit there. Then you're kind of watching, you have like a nice sniper scope of the whole wall if anyone walks through. And then if they just come through, you can even save your neon there. Like, yeah, you say you're like right, basically where he is, and you shoot him in the side of the head or something. But it's just, again, it's positioning. Positioning was one of your big flaws.
Spike down.
We could buy full armor here. Again, see mid next round. You're at 4,600. This costs 600 more credits. You could have 4K next round and be fine. So you could have full everything and full armor. Because next round you're gonna buy, and more than likely you're gonna have extra credits to work with. You're kind of like, what should I watch here?
Yeah. Actually, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
One
Like, I
enemy
really don't know where to go.
Yeah. Once you realize the main thing is really just holding the spike down and making sure they don't defuse it, it pretty much what you realize is you gotta find like the best spots on this specific site. And Breeze is a weird map, so you might not really know. Some maps you might have better spots than others, but really there's no wrong spot if you use your TP because you can just get out of the spot even if you're in a screwed scenario. This is fine where you are. You play around this back wall here, peek wherever you want. You guys are just winning, so again, pretty one-track mind for where you push, kind of like where you defend. So autopiloting is kind of like a slight issue, even though you say you're open to defending from anywhere. So on defense, again, I would be, like swapping around with the TP, opping different areas. But on attack, you follow your team a lot, which obviously is a very good thing. But what I mean by that is we start A with our team or we start B with our team. There's 3 parts of the map that you're actually not taking advantage of doing this though, which is mid, halls, and elbow. So these are all places you can peek from, especially with TP, and get out very safely and regroup with your team. Like say for example, we put a TP down here and we peek halls, we get a kill, we TP back, and then we're still with our team.
Yeah.
But whenever you're attacking, you have to really get the first kill to take sight, and get control of it effectively. So taking aggressive peeks on attack is even more necessary than on defense. So that's something to think about for sure. Alright, GG. So definitely got a lot out of that. I think you definitely have some strong points, but you also have some weak points. You have any questions or anything?
No. I think a lot of the stuff you said is sometimes I don't know, can't talk right now. A lot of the stuff you said has gone through my mind when I play, and even when I made this video.
Yeah, just
But
maybe like just like be more mindful of it. And I think the biggest thing you could do for yourself is deathmatch. And if you don't like deathmatch, I would just suggest deathmatch. Just like suffer through it if you really want to get better, and just try to apply those peeking and like aim mechanics that you use in deathmatch and comp as well. The TP is definitely, if you are continuing to play Chamber, which I would suggest you do because he's one of the strongest agents in the game. TP, definitely just keep thinking about your TP throughout like the whole game and like ask yourself what could you be doing better about like using the TP. Where could I be putting it different? How could I be using it more aggressively? How could I, just all these questions, and it's really gonna open your mind to Chamber's potential because you're missing out on quite a bit of it, his potential right now, just because of that reason as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you like if there's anything helpful to go over.
For
'Cause
positioning,
I know I watched I think it might have been one of your videos where you're talking about like don't be exposed to multiple angles.
Yeah. So I feel like would you say that's something that's usually in your head, like you're thinking about?
Yeah. Whenever I'm trying to peek, I'm like trying to think like if I'm exposed from something else.
Yeah, so I think you might be overthinking that a little bit too much because you're exposed to like 2 little angles, which is actually a thing that's possible. So it's like, again, especially as Chamber, you want to be peeking some things, and yeah, definitely peeking too many angles is a thing that is possible.
Yeah.
But you want to be taking fights more than you are. And that's really the positioning thing for you, is like just not taking enough fights, being too passive, being too far back on the map, both on attack and on defense. Obviously, it's good to play back on defense, but really your goal on defense is to prevent the enemy from taking control of the site. And if you're too far back, it's really hard to do that. So that's something you can think about whenever you're attacking. Again, you need to get the first. Your team as a whole has to get the first kill to open up space to actually plant the spike. Sometimes that'll mean sacrifice and losing some teammates, but sometimes you'll just get a one tap, and you can't get the one tap if you don't go for it. And so that also ties into positioning. Really, for you, just more aggression. You have to find a balance though, because too much aggression is also bad. But again, deathmatch, your best friend for sure with this.
Yeah, I'm gonna start playing it a little more then.
Yeah, do what you can tolerate. If you can only do one, but
I used to play 2. I used to play with the sheriff, and then I used to play with the vandal, and then I just fell off.
yeah, whenever it gets frustrating, just like take a step back, because I get really frustrated at it. Sometimes I just leave and stop playing deathmatch, which is completely fine. But just understand why you're doing deathmatch, and understand that there's a bunch of trash that comes with playing deathmatch, like the spawns, like, you know, just all kinds of trash that happens, and that's just something you gotta accept. And with that all comes an increase in your mechanical ability.
I think I have performance anxiety too a lot, because I notice like if it comes down to like 2 people or 3 people, and like I know people are watching me, I don't know why, but it
Yeah.
just happened.
Yeah. Is it about people watching you, or is it about knowing that you're facing multiple enemies, or both?
It's people watching me. I don't really
Yeah.
mind going like for a 2v4 or a 1v4.
Okay, do you have the thing on where it shows like your spectators?
Oh, can you turn that off?
Yeah, you
'Cause
can.
that would be huge.
Yeah, you
I
can.
mean, I still know people are probably watching me, but
Yeah,
knowing that I can't
that's
see
I was
it.
gonna say that's a first step for you. Because depending on which one of those like affected you most, you said it's people watching you. That's one thing you can do. Would you say like you have ranked anxiety, or is it just people watching you?
It's just people watching me.
Yeah,
Like,
so
even if it's my friends, actually, it's probably even worse with my friends.
yeah, because like, you feel like they're judging you because they're high ranks.
Yeah.
So what you can do is definitely turn that off. What else could you do? I think just like deathmatch, building your confidence and getting comfortable taking those aggressive fights is gonna make you more comfortable with that.
Okay.
So there's also probably other things you can look up to help you with that. I don't have a really good answer other than those things
Yeah.
though.
I mean, it got better. Like,
It will
when I
get
first
better.
started playing this game, it was awful. I was like, great, I'm the last person. I don't even want to do this.
Yeah, it will get better. I actually like being the last alive, so maybe you could get there as well. I like knowing that like if we win this round, it's because of me. Like I like that dynamic, but I completely understand why you feel like, you know, stressed out or anxious or whatever. Yeah, you can message me, DM me with any other questions. Let me know when you hit gold, because honestly, I believe in you. You'll hit gold pretty soon. Few weeks,
Yeah, I'd like to.
guaranteed.
That'd be nice.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone
All right,
for
cool.
watching. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hey,
Have a
good
good
night.
one.
Bye bye. Bye everyone.